Love, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Divine, beautiful soul, what is good in your world? It's me, Nicole P., your spiritual barista, stirring up wisdom, guidance, and inspiration from the cards. It's Tuesday, August 27th, and I got some tarot brew for you. My love, it has been just so rocky up in my world. I thought at one point in time we had some stability, and we find ourselves having to find housing once again. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope that you get to stick around, that the brew serves you in some way, shape, or form. For those who have been hanging out from some time, if you may recall, this spring was super intense. I was away from the podcast for, gosh, I think a couple months. We had to leave really somewhat suddenly, not like in the middle of the night, but the soonest that we could have found housing, the better. They sold the place that we were renting for over my mom's 6 years, and I was there almost 4 years, near 4 years. And, it was an offer for us to purchase it. And there'd been talk about it, and they just did not offer us the pathway to be able to do so in a way that we could. And it came at a time when my mom was very ill, and I'd asked for an extension and to just for them to work with us, and they didn't. And I had to find housing rather quickly because they wanted us out. And even though we had a lease here in Washington, you just have to have, I think it's like 90 days that they inform you that they're going to sell the house. And so technically, they would have been at their 90 days when they'd say, we're considering selling it. I've asked for extensions, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, so I thought there was a refuge that we had, found a place. It was exhausting to move, not just the actual physical move, but the hurt that this was like, we were displaced and like being cut from the root, that we were so rooted in the land and the place that we were at. And so I thought, okay, we had this cute little Guadalupana cottage and a cool street. It's going to hold us, and we just got to recuperate, because this was like getting like part of your heart cut out. And turns out the place was to hold us, but only temporarily, because we discovered really bad mold infestation. And we were both having really, really bad symptoms and reactions to this mold. So we're still nurturing and licking our wounds from the displacement from the sanctuary, what we call. And come to find out, they really worked with the new caretakers that they call them, and actually went down $100,000. And we had asked for all sorts of ways to be able to work around it. And it wasn't afforded to us. And I know, in the bigger picture, wasn't meant to be for whatever reason, but it does not discredit the pain and the anger and the rage of the displacement and the denial of our experiences, and just the spiritual bypassing that some of these folks up here in this town where I live, God, they're nasty, man. They're nasty. And so we went through it too with the new rental here. And however, these landlords, we told them and they denied the experience. I was just rough. It's been rough. It just have been, the second time of like people who are claimed to be very, very deep spiritual people, and being very dismissive and very harmful, and greed. And it's just exhausting. And, but I do think there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a big push. And I think this big push is one that's going to provide us in the long run some really deep respite. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to be up on here from time to time, not as daily as I had hoped for once we landed here in the Guadalupana cottage. But, it is what it is. And I pulled the Five of Pentacles last week, and the other piece is I'm learning new recording software. Before, I used to just hit a button and go, and it was free, and they switched it around on the Spotify for podcasters. And so I think I'm gonna need to pack my podcast mic, but I think I'm going to sign up for, I think it's like Podbean, and you can record on your phone. So I need at this point in time something super easy, because I want to show up as much as I can for the Daily Tarot Brew, and it might be semi-daily Tarot Brew. And I'm gonna sign up for that. I think, like, what did I say, Podbean or something like that, because you can record from your phone. So I don't have to record it to another software and then upload it to the podcast hosting site, etc. And it's really not that much or that hard. It's just right now at this point in time, I need something that I can just plug a mic in, press record, upload. So the point of that is last week I had pulled the Five of Pentacles and I recorded an episode. I'm learning this new software and I deleted it on accident. Today I posted about on my IG, and the IG I go under the Daily Tarot Brew. I have a Cafecito on Tarot IG. I don't use it. I just have it as a space holder so I can have the name. But I'm under the Daily Tarot Brew, and I've been posting the Daily Tarot Brews and stories. Today I did a reel, and it was the Tower reversed. And so I, from my experience, and I want to share this because this may be of service to you in some way, shape, or form, maybe not now, but in the future. And with that Five of Pentacles, in that time of in life, right? Because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And five is like the middle ground, right? It's like you're past the beginning stages, but you're not just right there yet, right? You're halfway there, right? And you've gone so far that there's no turning back. And it's a time in the journey of strife, of struggle, and it's a test of one's commitment and one's faith. And sometimes in life, we choose a path less traveled and we come across the Five of Pentacles and we live through and dance with the energy of a Five of Pentacles. And that reminds me of when, for example, in that card, going off of the wonderful, beautiful, magnificent imagery that the Queen, may she rest in power, peace, and pleasure, Pamela Coleman Smith has offered us is you see these two individuals and it's snowing and it just looking at the image, right? You feel the struggle. You feel the struggle. And to the right of them, there is what appears to be a building with a light on. And because of the stained glass, right, you immediately have the image and the idea of a church, a sanctuary, a space for respite. And one doesn't know, right, upon looking at this card, if they have just recently left that quote unquote sanctuary or they're passing the sanctuary. And could it be that it's a stopping ground? That this card indicates that it's time to take some respite and regain your strength to carry on the journey? Or with the cost of stopping at that sanctuary, even for just a little bit, be too great. And it's a point of choice, saying the sacrifice or the way that I have to abandon myself in this moment by going into that sanctuary is too much. And that's a price that I'm not going to pay. And I'm going to keep moving forward. Because, sometimes in life, there are things, right? There's ways that we can take an easier way. Ease is wonderful, but I'm saying like an easier way. Sometimes someone may offer us a cup and it's tempting, but there's a cost to it, right? And sometimes in life, we have to really evaluate what is the cost? What is the cost of that respite? What is the cost of that cup that someone is offering me, right? And so it reminds me of when you got to say the cost is too great and I choose not to. And I choose to root and know that we will get through that I will get through this, right? That's one aspect of that Five of Pentacles. When you just say, you know what, the cost of going back, the cost of stopping right now is too great. Let's keep on going, okay? Knowing that the struggle, not denying the struggle, not denying the hard time of it, but keep moving forward, okay? And sometimes it's of one's choice. And sometimes this is life. And let's be real with it because there's nothing not spiritual about this. Let's name it. Sometimes you go through the S to the H to the I to the IT because someone else has effed you up. Someone else has caused harm, caused suffering. Someone else is abusive. Someone else is jacked up. Or a situation is jacked up. And you are caught in the crossfire of someone's messed upness, whether it's a person, it's a community, it's from a relationship, it's a system. And so often in the spiritual, quote unquote, spiritual dialogues that are happening. It's so much spiritual bypassing. There's so much um rooting into the big picture, dismissing the humane, like not humane, the human experience, the mundane. And so that's not to say that we cannot root into a big picture. That's not to say that we cannot root into belief that there is something else, that we will be caught by spirit. But the thing is when we deny the effery that is happening on the human experience caused by another person, a system, a community, whatever it may be, when we deny the pain and the suffering caused by an external circumstance, we deny our humanity, we deny our spirituality. It's denying our experience, okay? And that, of course, is the card that I pulled last week as I'm going through this, and I'm still going through my feels of I feel having the land that we loved so much ripped from us, as so many people have experienced that because of the genocide and colonization, not only here in the United States, but globally. And as we see it, right, through the current genocides that are occurring as I am speaking, right? So we have to acknowledge our pain. We have to acknowledge our anger, our rage, our sadness of situations, of getting like jacked up. It's okay. Acknowledge it. You can still be so that is the most, actually, no, let me say this. You always are spiritual. And the most spiritual thing to do is acknowledge the experiences that you're feeling as a human being and acknowledge when one has caused harm. Acknowledge them. And it kind of goes into the tower reverse that I pulled this morning as sometimes, when you're going through the thing, it's like the universe, spirit, the cosmos, and the underworld treat you like you're a purse. You ever have that where your purse is dirty, your bag is dirty, and you're like, I got to clean this thing out. So you take everything out, you flip it upside down, and you shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Pennies fall out, sometimes a dollar bill. Let's be real. Sometimes old, beat up, kind of mojiti like gum, right? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm calling myself out, right? But stuff comes out. You're like, oh my gosh, this has been so messy. How did I live with such a messy purse? I think like sometimes life does that to you. Life sometimes puts you upside down and shakes it all out and gives you a really good limpia, and that's that tower reversed. And so the thing is this, the message is what you're going through, you will get through somehow, some way, some shape, some form. And, there are multiple possibilities that exist. And sometimes there's interference by other human beings and other systems. Once again, do not deny it. Because if we deny it, it festers in our body. And then it's almost like this kind of crazy making, right? You're like, wait, no, I should really feel happy because I'm really cared for, but yet I'm really upset. And then you deny your feelings and stuff like that. We're not doing that any longer, okay? So don't live in it, right? Like I'm telling this to myself, right? This is almost like my tarot journal. And I'm inviting you to be part of it. Don't stay in that energy because that costs, right? That costs in the long run, that costs as well. They both cost, denying it and then staying, allowing it to fester, okay? It's a dance. Finding ways, finding people, grief circles, dancing, whatever it may be to release it. If you're not able to tell the person or the systems what you think and to name that and to call them out and call them in, find ways that you're able to get it out of your body in some way, shape, or form, right? So we acknowledge it and then we dance through it, then we move through it. Then we can say, I'm dancing through this, I'm moving through it, not giving a timeline to it, but just say, I'm releasing it, I'm allowing it. And then we can gently say to spirit, okay, all right, tower reverse, let's go. Shake me out, shake it out. Shake everything out so I may be able to see and feel what is on the other side of this. Please, dear spirit, shake me out so I may see what is on the other side of this. So I may feel that there are possibilities on the other side of this. So as you're going through that 5 of Pentacles, as you're going through it, knowing somehow, some way, that 10 of Pentacles is not just so far away. And this, my love, is what I'm going to leave you with today. Okay. I'll be back probably in a day or two. I'm going to get this set up. What did I say? It was like Podbean or something like that. This way I can just be more present to the space and invite you along on my tarot journal journey. That's what it ended up feeling like, right? This is like my own little personal tarot journey called Cafecito Tarot. And I'm pouring myself the daily tarot brew and I'm offering you a cup of it as well. And yeah, pretty deep stuff. So that's what I got. And I'll be back soon enough. And I'm on this journey. You can follow me on Instagram, like I said, at the Daily Tarot Brew. I'm also going to be posting more regularly on YouTube. And I'll be here on and off when I can. So peace, love, everything in between. Can I just say something? If you've already, oh my gosh, if you're already still with me, I have to tell you, I am journaling because there has been so many like alignments with the moon phases on this whole journey and so much spirit communication. It's really fascinating. And the place that I live right now, the moldy, it's the Guadalupana cottage that's full of mold. I don't want to call the Guadalupana cottage moldy because I feel it's so sad. It's a cute little cottage. It's like was built in like 1910. And the current landlords who bought it like 20 years ago have just been using it like a turnover, investment, like rental investment. And it's so sad because it has been so neglected and it's a precious, precious cottage. And so I speak to her with such love and kindness. And she really, I prayed to this cottage and I was like, and I put an offering to this one where there's mold and mildew in all parts, but there's this one spot that's really heavy, heavy, heavy. And it needs to be like bioremediation and everything like that. And I was at a point where the landlords were going to fix everything. And I put an offering out to this particular part of the house. And I spoke to the cottage. I said, Guadalupana cottage, I see you. And I'm so sorry that you've been neglected. And I'm making this offering to you. And please, may you commune with my guides and my ancestors and show us the way. And if we're meant to stay, have this be resolved. And if we're meant to go, please allow us a path out. And sure enough, within 2 days after that, we had gotten the letter that the landlords refused to do any sort of repairs and that this is not the place for us to be. And I thanked the cottage. And I also told the current landlords a thing or two. And, let them know about their rights and responsibilities as landlords and that we will need to be released from the lease and some other things. But my point is I'm really looking forward to weaving this tapestry of experiences that I've had into the episodes just so that you believe, right? And and I love to hear when people have spirit experiences and I just love it. I think the more we can share with each other about that, it just helps. And it's just like, wow, you get to witness really the veil so thin. And that's all I got to say. Thank you so much. It felt so good to get that on my chest. I should pay you. I should be sending you, whoever you are listening right now, a few bucks for listening to my voice. I just feel like it was like almost like a mini therapy session, my tarot therapy session, my podcast therapy session. All right, I better go. We're near 20 minutes. Peace, love, everything in between. And until next time, bye.